Hi everyone, James here from Salesbuildr, and I've managed to catch up with a very interesting gentleman, Mr. Pete Matheson.
Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
Very, very well. Thank you very much. Yourself?
Yeah, very well. Yeah, enjoying the. So it's PAX 8 Berlin we're at.
It is. Still just as cold as wet as England, but yeah.
Pretty much the same. So we don't see you at many MSP shows.
No.
And how are you finding this one?
This is better. This is my kind of first big event since. So I sold my MSP like 4 or 5 years ago. This is my first big event, and it's been good. It's kind of like reminiscent of the old Desicons, which were good events.
Yeah,
good events,
yeah, those ones. Excellent, excellent. So tell me, before we get started, is there a particular sort of misconception that people perhaps have about you before they get the pleasure of meeting you in person?
Most people just like mistake me for like some punk drummer thing because of the weird haircut, I guess.
It's almost a brand now, though, isn't it? You've grown it into a brand.
It's one of these things where, like, when I was younger, people go, "Oh, you can't have that stupid haircut. You'll never get a proper job." And then actually, people are like remembering me because of the haircut. So I've stuck with it ever since, and it seems to work. So. Yeah, sticking with it.
You see it around the MSP space. There's certain people, I won't name, but that have very distinctive glasses or something along those lines, and they are definitely more memorable.
I mean, I'm sure the haircut will come back into fashion at some point.
That's it, and then you'll have to change.
Then I'll be trendy at some point, but not now.
So, for those people who don't know you, perhaps you can just give us a quick introduction then. So you did have an MSP, and now you're running a very successful YouTube channel, but perhaps you could elaborate a little bit.
Yes, so back in 2011, I started my own MSP, just myself, and then you kind of never really think it's going to grow beyond that. And then fast forward 8 years later, it did. We grew to like 2 million turnover, 16 staff or so, and then I kind of got fed up with people and decided to sell the MSP. And so we sold the MSP on March of 2020, which was 2 weeks before UK lockdown, which was like very convenient timing.
Wow.
Was not planned. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't plan that.
No.
But one of the reasons behind it, I was sat there going, well, we haven't had because I started at the end of the recession in 2011.
Okay.
I was like, well, we haven't had a recession yet.
It was actually on your radar.
So a recession of some form was, not quite what happened, but I was like, I'd quite like to, sell at the top before that kind of happens. So we ended up selling, and since then we continued making videos because we started making videos to market the IT company.
Okay.
And so carried on making videos, and that's just turned into its whole separate business, and now I'm a YouTuber, a tech YouTuber, which is great. It's way more fun than running an MSP.
I love that. Yeah, okay, so that's it. So the takeaways are quit your business and become a YouTuber. No, that's definitely not where we're going to go. But you learned some lessons along the way, right? And we want to delve into the video thing, definitely. But in terms of the sort of the growth you experience within the MSP and the way that you approach getting clients, perhaps you can give us a bit of an insight into, tell us what worked when you were looking to generate more revenue. Doesn't necessarily have to be bringing on new customers, but just in terms of general growth. What worked for you, and maybe then what did you try that didn't? It's
a very difficult question to answer because it's kind of like a bit of everything works.
Well, that's fine.
I mean, all the sessions I've sat on here today are just giving you like little tidbits about I sat on a session about how to run a service desk manager should run their service desk, and it's just doing things which I was doing as well. But again, you try and implement these things one at a time of doing like one-to-ones with your team, and like making sure you're on top of people, and like kind of being a little naggy mum to a certain extent of like making sure the work's being done and have you finished? Can I give you some more work? And just those kind of little things. And then the same thing applies to like marketing. There was no apart from the video marketing, which we'll get onto in a bit, but like there was no one thing where we did we did that and it brought in a load of leads and like worked magically. You just do a bit of everything. One thing was going back to what we were chatting about earlier of like using your existing clients, was just coming up with building a product matrix out with our clients.
Okay.
And so we had this, we did it in Brightgauge at the time because we were all like a ConnectWise house. So we had a dashboard basically, all of our clients listed down the left, all the different product categories we sold across the top, and we just have green ticks with the clients which services they signed up to. So we could quite easily look at a client and go, okay, they haven't bought a lease line from us, they haven't bought cybersecurity, whatever it might be, and we know quite easily when we're speaking to that client what to pitch them, or when they're due for renewals, well actually maybe they have a contract with somebody else, with a third party, so let's note that contract down in our system, so when their third party contract comes up for renewal, we know about it and we can then quote them for something ahead of time. And it's just trying to stay on top of things like that. That really, really helps, because then you're upselling, it's that whole if you get a client to spend money, then it's a lot easier to get them to spend more money with you than find a whole new client and get them to spend money. And it's getting them past that first monetary payment, and then it's just trying to sell the value and upselling to what they need. Don't try and flog them with stuff they don't need. But having that matrix, and the matrix thing was came about for different reasons. Because one, to upsell various services, but two, there was a few times where we'd taken on new staff and the client would phone and be like, oh, our lease line's gone down. Like, okay, cool, you should call your lease line provider. Like, I am, you provide it to me. I was like, great, that's a great service we provide, so now I need to fix that problem somehow so that doesn't happen again. Because it was our engineer was saying you need to phone your lease line provider when we provide the lease line.
So there's a basic level of service you're trying to achieve there, but actually, ultimately, it should be a sales tool, I guess.
Exactly that, yeah. So now at this stage, they have a matrix where they can look at and go, okay, this client has all these services, I can see it very clearly, very easily, and very quickly. But also, we can use it as like an upsell tool as well. So that was like quite a good thing to do. But amongst all of the other marketing stuff you have to do and play with and constantly try out as well.
How did you, so you had that matrix, I'm really interested in this bit, we have a matrix in our tool, surprisingly enough, so we have a similar kind of ethos. So you mentioned about, you'd mentioned that on calls perhaps, when you spotted things maybe there was an opportunity there for whatever it might be, an upsell or something. How do you take all that information and put that into like a daily routine or something? Is it just a case of just trying to sort of keep an eye on it occasionally? Is it totally ad hoc, or is there sort of best practice around
Again,
that?
a bit of a mixture. It would be, if the help desk team were trying to fix something that would have then been solved by having that product, that's like an instant
so they
reason
would have visibility as well?
Oh, yeah, they all had visibility because they needed to know what products they all had. So they all had that visibility. But also, it was then a reason for the engineer to say, well, hey, actually, if you had that product we sell that you haven't taken up, then that would have fixed the problem. Things like QBRs or business like regular meetings with the clients, you can just say, hey, by the way, there's these products. And again, so within ConnectWise, when we were doing like contract management, we would monitor for when our own contracts would expire, but we can also monitor for third-party contracts. So when their lease line contract expires, or when maybe they had a third-party backup service, so we'd actually add them into our system as if it was our own product.
It was CRM or something?
It was ConnectWise. It was part of the product expirations, so you can add a product and then expire it. And so when the third-party service expired or became near to expiry, then like 2 or 3 months ahead, we'd have a ticket created that then said, quote this client for a phone system. Is a perfect one, because they'd all go out, oh, we bought this new phone system from BT. It's like, okay, we could have sold you a phone system that wouldn't be shit.
It's one of the most frustrating things. Okay, it's an adult show, it's not a problem.
But now you can so now I can add that into the system. I know they're tied up for like a 3-year contract, but now in 3 years' time, and like a lot of the time you think, it's 3 years away. Like don't worry, don't bother like putting it in there. But put it in there because 3 years will come up, and then you'll get that opportunity to actually quote them.
That's a great opportunity, using a ticketing system to alert you. I mean, however you do it, but
we were just built around the fact of like everything has to be in our PSA system as a ticket or a monitored item. Like everything has to be in there. If it's not in there, it doesn't exist. Like I was tracking my own time, my own tasks. Like if we ever had that magical day that never happened, that your staff are sat there with nothing to do because there's no tickets.
Yes.
That happened like maybe once or twice. Now you can actually go, well, I've got loads of stuff in my queue, I'm just going to give that to you and you can like help me out with my tasks.
Yeah.
But if that's not in there to start with, you can't give it to them because it's just impossible. You're like picking out your notes and like sending them emails. So yeah, just everything in the PSA system was a big help for us.
That's amazing. So you've got like a wealth of opportunities there at any time.
Yes, it was very busy, but it was all in there. Yeah.
Excellent.
Although one thing I will say, one of the biggest productivity / stress reducing / just improvement thing to the business is chuck everything into the PSA, into your ticketing system, but just filter the heck out of it. Like have due dates or like next action dates, and I don't want to see anything in my list that I don't have to do today. If there's stuff for tomorrow or next week or next month, I don't want to see it.
Okay.
I just want to see today's stuff. And we had the same working with our help desk engineers as well, because they'd get overwhelmed and be like, I can see there's hundreds of tickets, I'm so stressed, like I'm trying to speed between tickets. Like, no, like you've got one ticket, focus on that ticket, fix it, we'll give you the next ticket. And it's just that kind of process like optimization that removes the stress away from them. And just, when you take those 500 tickets down to like the 30 or 40 you've got to get to today, it gets a lot easier.
Yes.
And so, removes a lot of stress. That's like, one of the biggest like stress relievers we managed to do.
I mean, that's one of the basic principles, isn't it? Of some of the sort of like Todoist and some of the task management tools are all about that, kind of filter it down, just do what you got to do today, and then there's this kind of inbox that will await you.
Yes.
it is there.
Obviously you've got the challenges of like now the new stuff's come in, or like the overdue stuff, and which do you get first, the urgent new thing or the overdue urgent thing, or there's those kind of things. But just having that filter view makes a world of difference.
So
absolutely.
I have to ask you, Pete, did you manage to crack the new lead generation challenge? So is there anything that particularly worked for you in terms of generating net new logos?
I would say yes and no. I don't think anyone really ever feels like they crack it themselves, because even if they're smashing it, they're still getting like, it could be better.
Yeah.
So they're always going to want to do better. For us, it was a case of so I've always got this like thing in place of there should be like 6 marketing pillars in your business, and you focus on one on month one, so that might be like your pay-per-click.
Okay.
Then on month 2, you might throw in some newsletters and like email marketing.
Still maintaining the
first one.
Okay.
And then month 3, you add an extra one in while still maintaining the last 2. And you get to month 6, now you've got 6 things, and you can then assess which one's working, which one's not. Let's ditch that one and try this one instead.
Did you do that yourself? Because
yes.
that sounds like quite a lot to take on.
Not really. So yes and no myself. So it was myself mainly doing the implementation, and then I hired a marketing apprentice. And then the marketing apprentice would then help me keep it going and like do lots of other bits, so, video editing and looking after mailing lists, sending out emails. But lots of it was very much led by me because I needed to get my head around how it worked before I could then show someone else how to do it. But just going through that approach, then you might find that maybe pay-per-click didn't work, or maybe social media marketing didn't work that month, but it might work again in 8 months' time or 12 months' time. You just need to keep trying stuff until you maybe find that one that you suddenly start going, oh, that is actually working, let's really, really knuckle down on that one, and then start switching off the other 5 or 6 and just focus on the one that is. So
it's combining basically trial and error, but consistency as well. So you've got some sort of consistency of approach.
Yes, very much so. I think the thing with marketing is that if you stick with one and just stick with it, it's going to work, because you're going to put all the time and effort into developing it and testing it and figuring out how to improve. I think SEO is one. Like, you stick with SEO for like 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it's going to work. You stick with video marketing, it's going to work.
Totally agree.
You stick with pay-per-click, it's going to work. But it's just everyone just gets so distracted. You go to these events and you hear AI. You're like, oh, there's a new AI tool. Let's go and sign up to the AI tool. And no, let's just keep doing what you're doing.
It's the eternal problem of shiny thing syndrome.
We all love like shiny new toys.
Whether it's marketing tactics, whatever it might be.
It's a problem. But that's why I always go with keep maintaining the 5 or 6, and then maybe throw the AI one in or the new tool in, and then you can keep going while still keeping those going. I think that's a big important one. Sorry.
So I have to. There's a nice segue there. You mentioned video editing.
Yes.
So video must have played a role here. Now I'm a big fan of video. Obviously, we're making a video now.
Yes.
How much does that play a part in terms of? You went on to develop a successful YouTube channel. In the early days, is that a tool you were using to just sort of educate customers and to sort of connect at scale? Would that be fair, or is it something different to that?
It was a really weird one. It kind of did a bit of everything. So you start doing video marketing because you think we're going to get clients by doing this.
What were your first videos, by the way? What sort of thing were you doing?
They're horrendous. It was I think the very first video was like, here's everything you need for cybersecurity, and it was like you need antivirus, you need email protection, you need password managers. It was like literally like probably a 15-minute video full of all this thing, and it was like really badly shot and edited. It was just horrendous, but it was my first video.
You got started, and it got me started. That's the main thing.
And then the idea from that point was then I broke each of those 20 things down into their own separate videos so I can talk about them more. So that gave me like 20 weeks worth of content straight away.
Excellent.
So that gave me an easy thing to talk about because I knew it inside out.
So that's very educational. You're not on the sell at that point. It's just what is it?
Not at all. No.
How can I help you?
Because with video stuff, it's just, like we're doing here, the first point is just making a video, and you need to get comfortable with camera, figure out how all the tech stuff works, figure out editing, and you need to figure out how the whole system works and posting it online and everything. And then once you've got comfortable, you can start, figuring out what kind of content's working, what's not working. And for us, it had an impact on so many marketing. It absolutely did things for us. Like the business was growing just gradually and carefully, as most businesses generally kind of trickle along and do that. But we would then start winning awards. Nothing's changed apart from videos. And we started winning awards because they knew who we were through the video marketing. People would come up to us at networking events and say, "Oh, you're that company that does the videos. I love your brand."
So how are they seeing those videos? How are they
just purely through YouTube? I say purely through YouTube. It was posted primarily through YouTube, shared on LinkedIn as well, and then obviously I'll connect with people on LinkedIn. And when we went to networking events, our CTA, everyone has the little fish bowls and put your business cards in and those kind of things. Ours was just sign up to our YouTube channel.
That's a really
if you can leave as a subscriber, then I've got you every week. Every time you open up your YouTube channel and you can see my videos. And so that to me was way more important. Whether it's going to be educational content or comedy stuff, whatever it's going to be, it's just something that you're going to have that opportunity to speak to them and use hand gestures and actually verbally speak to them, rather than email that can be misconstrued or just marketing stuff in general that's just a bit boring and drab. And you learn over time that or at least I learned over time, that the technical stuff, all the IT stuff, cybersecurity, really freaking boring. Like, no one really cares about cybersecurity.
Certainly not your end users.
Being hacked. No, everyone hates it. Like, I mean, we hate it, let alone like, no, we as MSPs hate it. It's just stuff we have to do. Yeah. But it's just educating your clients. But it's the stuff that then goes behind the scenes of like running the business, of like, at least it was for me, of like showing how we run the business, what my intentions were with the business, the ethics and ethos of like behind like the personality behind the business, of like, do you like, you know, what happened when you made a mistake? Like there's one time where we had a prospect inquire with us. They gave us their like the current prices they were paying, and we were like, they've slapped a ton of profit onto this. Maybe we're doing our pricing wrong. Let's just match those prices, because they were happy with the prices. They said to us, we're happy with the prices. They just want better service. We can definitely do better service for those prices. So we just gave them the exact same prices back with our service prices on top. And what did they do? They went to 2 other companies who went, they're getting ripped off. Here's our normal prices and our normal service prices. And so we completely lost that client and that prospect because we were ripping them off. But because I was very new to business at the time, I was doubting myself of, maybe we're undercharging our services. Maybe you should charge 200% markup on every product you sell.
Depending on who you speak to, there's a lot of different advice in the MSP space, and
exactly.
If you dare listen to any of the sort of...
And so like, but after going through that, it was a lesson I learned, and you just stick to your guns, and you know your pricing, you know your profit margins, stick with that going forward. And again, like, that was a lesson I shared through video, and it shares like your inner thoughts and how you work, and people go, actually he's quite a nice guy, like I understand that, and yeah, he made a mistake, but you know, he's fessed up and he's like took it as a learning lesson. Yeah, let's have a chat with him about his IT.
It's that connection, isn't it, I think, possibly.
It is,
tell me, so if you've got, so obviously you're someone who really enjoys making video, as am I, and I know there's quite a challenge there for some people who just obviously are nervous of the camera, don't really know where to get started. In this kind of modern era, when you've got MSP owners who could be doing all sorts of things to generate profit for their business, what's your kind of recommendation when it comes to, I mean, we talked about, you know, it's not that much of a challenge to get people to make videos, but then there's the piece of like, what do I do with it? How do I make that bring value to my business? So what do you recommend? I know you work with some video clients, so what do you recommend for, let's just say, a sort of a relatively small business owner in the MSP space?
I think like for smaller, it's even more important for smaller businesses and easier, technically speaking, for smaller businesses. I feel like everybody should give video a try. And when I say give video a try, like for a year, 18 months, 2 years.
Right, what does that mean then? If you give video a try, what would you be doing?
Just figure it out, basically. Like, learn it, make some videos, find your feet with things, find out how the technology all works, and just start making the videos. Like, post a video a week, because I've not met a single person that's been posted a video for a week that hasn't like consistently changed their life and changed their business. Because it has a massive impact.
Just posting it on YouTube, nothing
post
else
on YouTube.
Beyond that.
I mean, maybe share it to LinkedIn and those kind of things. But like the missing part of the puzzle for a lot of people is they'll post it on LinkedIn, and 24 hours later it's down the bottom of the feed and it's disappeared.
Yes.
Whereas on YouTube, stuff like lives forever. Like, I still have videos. So for example, I have like some MSP products and services that I sell. I have a YouTube channel for those. I stopped making videos on that channel more than a year ago now or so, and we're still selling like 1 or 2 of them a month off the back of those videos. And like, even here today, people have still come up to me and say, your videos are so helpful, thank you so much. I still get comments on them saying like, your videos are really helpful. I'm like, I haven't done anything with this for like a year. And yet it's still like, people are still finding them on YouTube, and it's still doing its thing.
It's like cumulative effect, isn't it, of having that archive that's just constantly delivering value,
and that's the difficulty,
keywords as well. With a bit
because the compounding effect with like video upon video is you don't notice it until it certainly gets to a point where you go, maybe you get your first phone call from someone, I've watched a YouTube video and like I want to sign up.
Would you share it with customers as well? I mean, was that something you'd send around via email? Did you sort of do that every time you launched a video? Or?
Yeah, so the way I looked at video was like top of funnel stuff. So we'd create a video, but then I would also then split off the audio, have a podcast, put it into a blog post, an article on the website. We put it into our email list, so that would get distributed to all of our clients. And my kind of goal was, I want to go to a meeting with that client, and they would have either watched, listened, read the information I'm about to tell them in person. And most of the time it worked, but there was still the odd client that said like, I wish you would have told us about this. I mean, like, I did, like literally video, podcast, audio, like you've just ignored all of it. But the fact they said like, this was useful, and I just obviously pointed them at the resource, and they kind of learned from there. But it's a great way of communicating with clients, with staff, with prospects. It just affects every aspect of running an MSP. Like, we had people wanted to sign up for a job at my MSP. We had like an influx of CVs once. I made a video that was about like something about like why would you want to work here, or like the staff benefits. It was like, you know, you get a comfortable chair, you get a big screen monitor, you get a decent spec laptop, you get a fridge full of drinks, and you get some chocolate. You know, it's nothing like incredible. You get paid on time. That was literally one of them. You get paid on time, and like just making those simple things. And we had CVs just came through. I remember being away at an event, and my inbox was flooded with CVs, and like, we haven't even got a job ad out. Well, what's going on? And just people watching that video and just going, I want to work for you. Like, this sounds incredible. Like, my boss hasn't paid me for the last 3 months. You know, all these kind of complaints, and you just go, wow, people really like struggle in their jobs.
It's a clear window into your business and the humans behind the brand, which they won't have with others. And I think that's really where it comes, isn't it?
Exactly. And like the whole, you know, everyone trains you to have like the know, like, and trust factor.
Yeah.
And you're trying to do it through your video marketing, or maybe not you're doing video, you're doing it through your blog posts.
It takes a lot of blog articles to get to that point.
A hell of a lot of blog articles. Whereas with video, you can do it a lot quicker, even though it still takes like 10, 12, 18 months or so. It still takes a long time to build that like personnel and repertoire with the people. But you're just building so much more beyond that as well. Like I say, it touches every area of your business that it's just like, yeah, hands down, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best things that any business can do. And like, even going beyond that, if you're like an MSP owner and you want to like sell your MSP one day, like I did, you can then take the YouTube channel, because it's potentially you on the YouTube channel, and then that's
There's a personal brand element to this, isn't there?
So you can take it with you, and like the thing for me was like build an audience on the YouTube channel, and I can take that audience and point it at whatever thing I'm doing at the time, with whatever industry that might be in, and that's reasonably worked so well so far. So yeah, just that 100%, like just get over it, get over yourself. Everyone hates like filming themselves.
Get out
hate
your
what they look like. Just crack on. Like for me, the reason why I started it was like nobody's doing it. I hate my voice, I hate my face, you know, that whole thing.
Yeah.
But no one's doing it, so if I just get over myself, then I'll instantly like elevate myself above all of my local competitors that also aren't doing it because they're scared of it.
It's a huge differentiator, isn't it? But I do think there's an element of you can get people to that point, but then it's what do you do with it? And I think you've covered that nicely in terms of where you can use it, where you publish it, share it with customers, and so on, and repurpose.
Yeah.
Let's pivot slightly.
Sure.
You're starting an MSP again. Guess what?
No.
If you were, so how would your MSP look if you're going to start again tomorrow? How would you kind of structure it? What would you do?
I'd up and leave straight away, mate. Just no. That's a horrible question.
What do you see the better ones do? It's just in terms of sort of your approach, how you might sort of structure it, how you promote it, or what you focus on. Or
I mean, video marketing, absolutely. Yeah. I do video like through and through. I think the thing for me I'm looking at right now with anyone I speak to, like everyone's selling the same kind of stuff. They're packaging it slightly differently and trying to sell the same kind of MSP type stuff. The thing that I feel like has value is like package something together that you feel has value, that the clients have value. Like maybe it's nothing to do with the like add it onto the MSP services, but like the consultancy stuff, like looking at like the AI, like developing market of like what can you do with AI in the business.
I will just ask you, so anything in the AI area where you think actually that's really useful, because we've heard a lot about AI today, and there's a gazillion use cases.
That's the thing.
Have you spotted anywhere you think actually?
There's little bits here and there. This is the thing. So I use bits of AI in like my own video process, but it's not like let's just use that because it's perfect. Like it's pretty crap still. Like lots of AI is pretty crap and doesn't do a good job. But if you find the like specific tasks you're going through and go, actually I could do that with AI, just replace it, and then that's like 5 minutes saved, and then like another 5 minutes, and it's just really useful to do that.
Okay, so you focus on there being an AI element then in your portfolio?
Potentially. It's just like, it's basically building like a subscription / membership thing where your clients or prospective clients can sign up to and actually get something that they feel is a value, because they don't feel like they get any value from an MSP. They pay a load of money and the IT it works, and then they're like, oh, we're spending a load of money on this, and it just, what are we paying for? Because it just works. You don't need to spend the money on it because it's working, or it's not working, it's really expensive and it's not working, why are we spending it? It's that whole thing.
Does that come from not being maybe operating at kind of the board level with your customers and not having enough?
Potentially, but I think it's still like a big challenge to get through with a lot of clients, is getting them to, you know, I've even got this, so I'm sat on the not trustees, like the governance school board, and just trying to go through like cybersecurity with them at the moment, and it's just like, oh yeah, but how often do schools really get hacked? I'm like, literally all the time. Like, but we could spend that £1,000 on a laptop instead. It's like, yeah, but cybersecurity, you won't have a laptop. But like, it's just that you could spend the £1,000 on actually improving your cybersecurity rather than thinking it's another laptop that's then also going to get hacked.
But if you don't work in this space, so you're not at all these events, and you're not going to all these talks
exactly
all the time, so you're relying on the education of...
The whole thing is just education, and it's trying to educate those clients and prospects of like what's needed. And I feel that just like, because again, MSPs fundamentally are just selling time and money. However you package it up, it's still kind of selling time for money. And
So how are you going to get around that with your portfolio then? So you've come up with a package that's something that you think.
So I guess
really
fundamentally I wouldn't be an MSP. I think this is where I get to. It would be less an MSP, but more like add-on services where I feel it's an easier sell because the clients themselves feel like it's got more value.
So tangible.
It's going to be like educational resources, protection, the kind of stuff that they go, oh, there's an instant like value add there, which is like less. It's less expensive. You know, you could do like there's you can make great businesses off like just charge $1,000 a year for a business to be a member of something, which is like, you know, nothing compared to MSP stuff. But you get a load of clients signing up to that with like very, very little overhead because you've got no cost behind things really.
Maybe not
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you can make a really, really profitable business. This is kind of where I come to from like selling my MSP. You kind of leave the world and go, actually, there's loads of other like really good business types of business out here that are like way more profitable. This is probably not what you want to be talking about.
No, we wanted the honest version. That's absolutely
just
fine.
I've kind of come out of selling my MSP and gone like, shit, there's this whole world out here that's like way less stress, way less work involved, way more profit in it. And there's just a lot more you can do than just selling like the MSP services. So
it depends on your skill set, doesn't it? Right? Obviously,
it does.
I think clearly from your video work, it's quite obvious you've definitely got talent for the.
Potentially, but I didn't have it before. Like I literally, I wasn't doing video at all. Like I literally looked at YouTube and went, that'd be really cool to do that. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea how to use a camera, the audio, like nothing, literally nothing. And I just watched YouTube and just learned everything. So I think there's a lot you can do out there.
Definitely, I think if you can blend the two, that's definitely a good thing. So let's get a blatant plug in then. So tell me, what have you got coming up in terms of, so your YouTube channel covers, are you still running, you do a MSP focused channel and a tech review channel, don't you? Is the MSP channel?
It is. So this is what I'm kind of half here for that. So I run a company called Not a Business Coach, which was kind of fell off the back of me having my MSP, and people asked me for help and how do you do that, and I just basically did consultancy. So with that, there's kind of like there's two things on there. There's a video marketing course, so if you want to learn how to do video marketing, there's like a course that teaches you everything around that. There's also a UK legal templates pack. So basically we spent probably 30 or 40 grand by now with some UK solicitors to write templates. We've got terms and conditions, managed service agreement, online backup, VoIP, all the kind of the standard things that people need. It's £1,000 a year, and we keep them updated every year. You've got direct access to the solicitor that wrote them, so if you want changes made, you can just pay them like a small amount to make the changes, rather than having to go and find your solicitor, pay them to reread the whole thing and rewrite the whole thing. That's it, just the two products really, and that's me.
And onto the really exciting stuff. What gadgets have you got coming up in the pipeline that you're going to be reviewing?
There's lots of foldable phones. The new Honor V3, which is super slim. I've almost brought it with me today, but like super slim foldable.
What are you rocking today? What have you got? What's your daily driver these days?
I'm prepping for another video, so iPhone. Even though I literally posted a video 2 days ago about how I switched to Android, but this is just like that video was shot.
I'm sure I've seen a few of those. I'm sure you've been back and forth.
Oh, they're quite popular videos. I'm shooting a video with a company that's sponsoring this case. So I've brought this with me to shoot some content whilst we're here. It's all like just trying to juggle things. But phones. I'm off to Snapdragon Summit next week, which is like seeing all the new Snapdragon chips, which will be really super cool. Mainly because it's in Hawaii, and I'm looking forward to going to Hawaai.
That's going to be quite a grind.
Snapdragon's like like Apple's WWDC. With their like iPhone announcements, it's like that, but for Android, I feel.
Okay.
And it's like it's going to be super fun, and lots of cool people to hang out with, and
And hopefully some video content might come out of it.
Oh, there will be, we planned a video whilst we're out there, so we're going to shoot a video whilst we're out there, which will come out in I don't know when this comes out, but like middle of October, end of October, that will come out, I think. So, I'm not too far.
We've got a few day turnaround, so definitely it'll still be
fine.
Pete, listen, I'm so glad I finally got to catch up with you. Thank you for giving me some of your time. I know you're a very busy man, so and hopefully we'll get a chance to chat again soon, maybe.
Absolutely. Spot on.
Cheers. Thanks.
Thank you.